Help! My device is damaged. What are my service options? Hello and welcome to iPhone Black and White Troubleshooting, where we try to quickly figure out what's going wrong with your device and get you back up and running as quickly as possible. In this video, we are going to be looking at different service options in case you've got a damaged device and kind of the best ways to go about trying to get it either repaired or replaced. And there's a couple things I want to say at the beginning here. Now, in this video, we are mostly going to be looking at an iPhone. It's not going to be possible for me to kind of keep this video short and cover every single different type of Apple device. And the key thing to remember is, regardless of anything that I say in this video, you're still going to have to contact Apple, either calling Apple support to set up a repair or contacting them through their chat, or even going into the store, or even to like an Apple service provider. So everything I'm kind of giving you here is going to end up being an overview, and I definitely want to try to explain the different things that you can do to get your device serviced, and really probably what's going to end up being the best option, and it just depends on the individual. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I am just going to focus on the iPhone because the majority of people who are going to be seeing this are going to be people who have a damaged iPhone. And so since that's going to be most people, that's going to be kind of the rest of the video. What I just want to say very quickly is, remember, it just depends on what kind of device you're talking about, and it's always subject to change. For example, it used to be that if you had a damaged AirPod, you could actually just send back one AirPod and then they would send you a replacement. And now you actually have to send in both AirPods and the charging case. So it's kind of something to keep in mind, because this video is going to be up hopefully for years, and the majority of this information should be accurate, because this would be accurate for like the years past. So just remember, it depends on what your device is and exactly what it is that you need. So you're still going to have to contact Apple to get the specific details. But with that being said, let's just now look at the iPhone. Okay, so the first thing to kind of talk about here with the iPhone, and I'm going to get this out of the way because I'm going to reference another video that I've got up, which is about how to turn off Find My. Now, Find My, if you're not familiar with what that is, you definitely need to go watch that other video. Odds are your Find My is turned on at the moment, which basically simply means your Apple ID is currently active on that device, and that is what prevents somebody else from being able to steal that device and get into it. So the thing that you're going to have to do anytime that you would be setting up service on a device is to actually remove your Apple ID. And it doesn't matter if it's with Apple or with like your carrier or your insurance provider, whoever it is, they're going to have you turn off Find My, because they may need to actually replace the phone. And if that's the case, they're going to keep your old phone and they need to be able to get into it. So make sure you go and watch my video on how to turn off Find My, because you are going to have to do that. Okay, the second thing to kind of cover quickly here is whether or not your device is currently under the limited warranty. There's a couple things you got to remember. Your limited warranty would be good for 1 year from the date that you purchased it, and that is going to cover any kind of manufacturing defect. It is not going to cover any kind of accidental damage. So if you've got an iPhone and you dropped it and you cracked the screen, that's accidental damage. That's not covered by the warranty. So hopefully you've got Apple Care, because otherwise it's going to be incredibly expensive to get your phone repaired. So if you do have a manufacturing defect, or there's something that's just going wrong, odds are, if you've got your limited warranty, they will be able to just replace the device. They'll make the attempt to fix it if they can. Maybe it's an easy fix, but there's a good chance that they'll just replace it. But have to have your limited warranty. If you don't have your limited warranty, if you are out of warranty, that's when things are going to kind of change. Again, it's going to depend on exactly what the issue is, but Apple does what's called a flat rate. So if your device is out of warranty and it's got to basically be repaired or replaced, they are going to charge you the flat rate fee. Now, what I'll do is, I'm not going to go through the websites, but I will link the web pages for like a damaged iPhone or a damaged iPad. And I've got a video up talking about AppleCare. If you don't really understand AppleCare, make sure that you go and you watch that, because that will make a world of difference for you in the cost. You may, though, actually buy your insurance through your carrier. And if that's the case, there's a chance that you're actually buying AppleCare. And so your AppleCare insurance is through your carrier, and your carrier kind of bundles that with their own insurance, and they offer a little bit more. So if you're not sure what you've got, reach out to your carrier, and you can also go to the Apple website, put in your serial number, and see if you actually do have AppleCare on the device. If it's damaged, if you can still get into the device, you can actually just go into settings, go to general, and then click on about, and you should be able to scroll down there and see if you've got AppleCare. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's say you've got a damaged iPhone and it's completely broken, and you know already you've got to set this up for service, either to get it repaired and or replaced. So now we're just going to talk about what are going to be your different options, and kind of the ones I recommend and the ones I don't recommend. So there's two kinds of damage that's going to end up kind of requiring you to be able to go either to like an Apple store or an Apple service provider. And so I want to talk about this just real quick, which is a cracked screen. So if you've got cracked screen, and I'm talking about the front of the phone, not the back of the phone, but the front of the phone. If you've got cracks in the display, then it's actually not a bad idea to go to an Apple service provider. And usually that ends up being a Best Buy or a business like that that's certified to work on iPhones, because they would be able to replace the screen. That's fairly easy. It's best to go to either an Apple store, but you can go to an Apple service provider as well. So, but that is only sort of in reference to if you've got damage on the front. So what if you've actually got damage that's anywhere else, even if it's a cracked back of the phone, or if you've got just the phone is just, I don't know, is run over by a steamroller. If that's the case, that's when you've got to understand, if you go to an Apple service provider like a Best Buy or like a Mac Plus store, those places are not going to be able to just replace your phone, even if you have AppleCare. That's not the way it works with the Apple service providers. So it depends on what your problem is, but going to an Apple service provider usually is not the best way to go if your device is completely damaged. It doesn't mean you can't go to them, but you've got to understand, the only thing they're going to be able to do is to actually take your device and then set up the repair and mail it in for you. And it kind of defeats the purpose, because you would be able to do that on your own, as I'll explain here in a minute. Okay, so going to the Apple service provider may not be the best option, depends on the issue, but what about going to the Apple store? What would they be able to do? Well, again, it kind of depends on what the issue is, but the Apple store is going to be able to possibly do a few more things that the Apple service provider can't do. For example, if you've got a damaged phone and you've got to get it sent in to get it repaired or replaced, the Apple Store may actually have a loaner phone to let you use until your phone is actually repaired and or replaced. And what you would do is take the loaner phone, you would use it for like up to 2 weeks or however long it takes, and then they would the repair depot would send that back to that Apple store. You'd go back to the store, give them the loaner phone, and pick up your phone. And it's not a bad option and to do that, because it's not going to cost you anything to basically use the loaner phone. They would give that to you for free. Apple service providers don't have loaner phones to basically hand out, at least most don't. So going to the App Store is not a bad idea, because they could also possibly swap out your device. So if you do have AppleCare insurance, if that Apple Store actually has your device in stock, and they have enough of them, because they have to keep a certain amount in stock, but if they've basically got over that, then they would actually be able to swap out your device. So there's different options there, but if they do have to mail in your device, you're not going to have a choice. And if they tell you, like, look, I'm sorry, we can't swap out the device, they would still be able to take your phone and then actually mail it into the repair depot, where they would attempt to fix or replace it. And that might end up being, your best option as well. But that leads us into the third option here, which is just what, I like to call the normal mail-in repair. What this means is you contact Apple, you set up the repair, and what they're going to do is they're going to send you a box. You're going to get the box. It will have a return label with it. Take your damaged device, put it in the box, and then whoever the return label company is, odds are it's going to be FedEx, but it could be UPS. It just depends on where you live. But what they're going to do is, when you get that return label, if you take it back to FedEx, for example, make sure you get a receipt. You've got to get a receipt. I'm going to stress that a few times here. But you would just simply take it to them. They would take it from you. They would mail it in. And then once the repair depot gets your device, attempt to repair or replace, and then they would just mail it back to your home residence. So there's an advantage in doing it that way, because you don't really need to make an unnecessary trip to the Apple Store or the Apple service provider. The turnaround time on that can be anywhere from 7 to 10 business days. It just kind of depends, especially on what time of the year it is. But the mail-in option really is not a bad option, depending on what your product is. And some products have to be mailed in. They can't be swapped out in the store. Something like a Mac computer, for example, they have to be mailed in. So it just kind of depends, but the mail-in option really is not a bad option at all. It can actually save you some time by having to make unnecessary trips. Okay, the last option is only going to be applicable to people who have AppleCare. So if you don't have AppleCare, you're not going to be able to do this unless your device is under the limited warranty, and the limited warranty, actually, this is in reference to a manufacturing defect. So if you're under the limited warranty and it's a manufacturing problem, that's the only exception to this. But if you've got AppleCare, it doesn't matter what the issue is with your phone. It doesn't make any difference. And this last option is called Express Replacement. Now, the way this works is Apple will actually send you a brand new device in the mail. And I'm going to reference this here now. This is really only going to be for iPhones. They don't do this for like Mac computers. They don't do this for AirPods, at least not at the moment as I'm putting up this video. I don't think they do it for iPads either at this point. It's basically only for iPhones. But the Express Replacement, the way this works is they will send you that brand new device. You will receive it in the mail within just 2 to 3 days. Apple does not do overnight shipping. That is not an option. Don't ask them. They won't do it. They can't do it. So they will send you this device in 2 to 3 days. You'll receive it. You're going to take the same exact box, take your damaged device, put it back into that box. It will have a return label with it. You will go to FedEx or the other shipping company, whoever it is. Make sure you get your receipt that you delivered it to your shipping company. Make sure you get that receipt. So once you got your receipt, boom, you give it to them, and then they mail it back in, and you're done. There's a catch to this, though. The catch is Apple cannot send out a brand new device in the mail without a guarantee that they're going to receive back the damaged product. So in order to do the express replacement, you have to use either a credit card or a debit card, and you're going to be putting down the cost of a brand new device. Now, this is a hold. Basically, think of it as a deposit. But there's a couple things to this. So I'm going to explain this so you fully understand. So if you're going to go this express replacement route, the best way to do this is to use a credit card. Because if you use a credit card, you're not even going to really notice. It's not like money is really getting taken out of your account because it's a credit card. Your credit card company is the one who would technically be holding the money. Apple's not going to touch your money at this point. It's going to be your banking institution. So if you use a credit card company, you're not even really going to notice. But if you use a debit card, your bank is going to pull that money out of your account. Okay? They're not sending it to Apple, but your bank is the one who's actually holding the money. So once you receive the damaged, once you receive the new device, your new phone, you ship back in your old phone. Once Apple receives your damaged device, within 3 days, they will contact your bank and tell them, release the hold. We're not asking for the hold anymore. So it's never a question or an issue of Apple releasing your money. Apple's not holding your money. It's actually your bank. So the express replacement route is a good way to go because you can get a device very quickly. It's just that there's a little bit of nuance to this. And the best way to do it, if you're going to do it, use a credit card because you won't even notice the hold. And then just remember, you have 10 days to mail in your old damaged device, get it to Apple. As soon as they receive it, they contact your banking institution and tell them release the hold. And then for those people who have their insurance through their carrier, their provider, whatever they basically tell you is what you're going to do. The only thing I can tell you 100% is that you are going to have to turn off Find My. So I just want to reference that again, because if you don't know how to do that, please watch my video. It's very easy to turn off Find My. It's super, super simple. You're just going to need to know your Apple ID and your password. And that is it. And that will be all that you need. And then whatever your carrier tells you to do, however they want to set up the repair, you just basically follow their instructions and that will be it. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope this very quick overview really kind of helped explain exactly everything that you should sort of encounter or expect. The best way to kind of set up repairs, in my opinion, is to either do the mail-in option or to do the express replacement if you can. It's beneficial to go to the store, but you've got to make sure that when you go to the store, you understand fully in advance that there's a really good chance that they are not going to just hand you a brand new device, regardless of whether or not you've got Apple Care. So as long as you understand that, then that, go ahead, knock yourself out. Go ahead and go on in. But alright guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, come on back, learn how to become an iPhone expert. Don't forget to send this video to your friends and family so I can turn them into experts as well. Alrighty guys, thanks so much. We'll see you next time. See ya.